There's a new Rasmussen poll out today that shows the two top issues in American people, both with 88%. One is inflation, and the other is crime. At President Biden's press conference, he's in denial about inflation, and he doesn't want to talk about crime. And I find that very interesting, and I need some help from my great friend Stephen Miller, former senior White House advisor and America First legal founder. And, you know, Steve, I suppose I could add immigration, but I'm just saying the headline in the Rasmussen poll was inflation and crime. Something like 88% or something of all Americans rate that as the number one and two issues. Now, here's the great part. Biden is in denial about inflation, and he won't talk about crime. And I think that's part of his downfall.
Well, you're 100% right. I mean, his comments on inflation continue to demonstrate a failure to grasp basic economics, where his inflation plan is just to print as much money as he can as fast as he can print it. As for crime, there was a shocking moment where on Fox News, Jen Psaki was being interviewed by Dana Perino and Bill Hemmer and was asked about President Biden's position on these radical left prosecutors that coddle violent criminals. And her response was effectively, well, Joe Biden doesn't really have an opinion on it, isn't going to comment on it, isn't going to engage in it. In effect, they are countenancing the crime wave that is being wrought all over this country by these no jail, no bail prosecutors. And you saw in California recently, Governor Newsom compared his own state to a third world country when he actually went down and he visited the railroad tracks. And to compare it to the Wild West would truly be an insult to the Wild West.
You know, I don't know, maybe I'm a hardliner. Hardline, maybe. You've got these pictures of these great American cities, really, New York, San Fran, L.A., Chicago. These were great cities. We want them to be great cities. They are littered with homeless and tents and crime. And I know there's many mental problems in all this. But, Steve Miller, I don't think we can ever solve this problem, including the, the problems of addiction and mental problems. They have to be taken off the streets. They have to be removed from the streets. That's just my personal view. But I don't think we will ever get at this while they're still out there, because they're destroying cities. And they're destroying millions of people, their livelihoods, their safety, their schooling. You follow me? They must be removed from the streets.
Well, look at the tragedy recently in New York, where an apparently violently deranged person pushed a poor woman to a violent, gruesome death in the New York subway system. Somebody who should have never been on the street. Who are we serving by letting the violently dangerous, mentally ill, deeply addicted live on the street? Who's that helping? It's not helping them. It's surely not helping them. And as for the 99% of the community that's not in that circumstance, it's putting all of them in danger. This is a policy that benefits no one but, I suppose, the egos of these Marxist, radical left prosecutors and city administrators. And the Biden administration's silence on this is an act of sheer moral cowardice. Biden is afraid that if he says one thing about this, that the far left of his party will criticize him, and so he cowers in fear, and we continue to suffer as a result.
I got another one for you. I'm sure you know this, but the TSA is confirming that it is allowing illegal immigrants to fly around the United States using arrest warrants as identification. Now, this is a new one. This is a big step ahead. Arrest warrants, not passports, not driver's licenses, but arrest warrants for illegal immigrants.
What do you think would happen to me or you if we walked up to a federal law enforcement officer and we presented an arrest warrant and we said, hey, we'd like to come through this checkpoint. Here's the arrest warrant out for me. You would be put into handcuffs. I mean, to think that you can present an arrest warrant if you're here illegally as a form of identification to get onto an airplane. I mean, this is to the everlasting humiliation of our country. What does the rest of the world think? Not only are people breaking into our country with no consequences, but when they get arrest warrants, they're not using those documents to turn themselves in and be removed. They're using them to get on airplanes and travel freely around the country to visit friends and family and look for work. I mean, we are truly being made into a laughingstock.
I got one more, a quickie. It's going to come up later in the show, but when you're around, I can't help myself. The IRS is now making Americans use facial recognition to access their tax returns online. Okay, facial recognition to pay your taxes. Steve Miller, how about facial recognition to vote? You think this administration would tolerate that?
What we've learned in the year 2021 and now 2022 is that the left favors radical identification requirements for every single feature of living on this earth. To get out of bed in the morning, to do your taxes, to go to a restaurant, to do anything at all, to have a cup of coffee. The one activity that is immune from even the most modest attempt at verifying your identity is voting. That's the one thing where ID is completely and totally disallowed. It's Jim Crow, it's racist, it's segregationist. You're a slave owner if you think that a person should be required to present an ID to vote. But every other activity in life, you can't even get out of bed in the morning without your ID.
Go to a restaurant. I got to show them a vaccine card to get into a restaurant, but they don't want me to show a voter card.
Pretty soon you're going to have to bring your entire medical record, 10 years of physicals, to get a sandwich in this country.
And it's a hell of a record. Steve Miller, best of the best. Good luck. See you soon.
You.